Well, hello there all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we talk about nature while playing games. My name is Will, and we are going to start a playthrough here of Coral Island, which is such a nice cozy game. My wife and I both thoroughly enjoy playing this, and there's so much nature we can talk about. So let's jump right in, shall we? And there we go, there is our character Ecologist Will, and we are going to be the farmer on Ecoville. And of course we are starting in a very much dilapidated building over here, and this is what our farm looks like. It is overgrown, it's got lots of trash lying around all over the place, it has logs and rocks and stuff we need to get rid of, and it is actually quite big, as you can see here. So yeah, we have a lot to work with, but as always we're going to be playing this in as ecologically friendly manner as possible. So we're going to leave as many of the trees as we can, or at least we are going to establish a nature reserve area for plants and animals technically to also just run around in. But we are going to, I think, clear this area closest to our house so that we can actually start farming here. We do need to clear an area for us to actually grow our crops, which is the idea of the game here. We need to start farming. Now, of course, all the activities do use stamina, so this is going to be quite a laborious task to actually clear everything, but at least we are getting some resources by doing this. Alright, now we have cleared a little section here, and we only have 18 seeds to start with, so yeah, this is going to be it, at least until we buy some more seeds. Now, just a quick disclaimer, I have set the game speed a little bit slower. It is only on 70% speed, so the days are longer. We can actually talk about stuff without feeling too rushed and without us, running out of daylight. But here we go, we have got 2 seeds we can sow here. We've got turnips and we've got daisy seeds. Now, yes, we could plant it all in neat little rows, but the ecological way would be to plant things a little bit more mixed, I think, kind of like this. It does make it slightly more difficult, not just slightly, it does make it more difficult to actually harvest everything when the time comes, but this is the ecological way. You kind of have it mix a little bit more. The moment you have a monoculture, just one seed sown throughout an area, an entire field basically of just one plant, well, that is not really great for ecology, and there are so many reasons why it isn't great, and we'll get to that, we'll touch on that as time goes on. We're just going to eat something here, just a candied tree seed, just so that we can actually get some energy, because all that hard work basically tired us out. Now, we do also have a quest here to actually repair the house, which will cost us 50 wood and 20 stones. So we are going to get to work on that as well. It's going to take a while to do that, but we are slowly but surely going to get that sorted. Now, we can craft the makeshift chests here, but we don't have enough wood, so we are going to have to chop down some trees in any case. Or at least, for now, I think. Let's harvest these logs lying on the ground. Let's not chop our trees unnecessarily, shall we? Now, of course, I don't have any problems with chopping down trees occasionally. Sustainable harvesting of trees would be a good way to supplement the logs that we obtain. But for the first bit here, we're not going to chop down trees unnecessarily. Later on, when we can really get to planting and harvesting trees, we're going to try and do it in a sustainable manner. And there we go, we've basically run out of energy for the day. It doesn't take long to run out of energy at the start of the game. But we do have some quests here too, actually. The first one is to actually gather enough stone and wood to fix our home, and the other one is to harvest our first crops. Now, if we hold in the right mouse button here, we can see here that the turnips will be ready to harvest in 4 days, and the daisies also in 4 days. So on the 5th day of spring, we should have quite a few plants to harvest, and that's going to be wonderful. I think for now we are going to just run around a bit, because you can see here it is quite a big map, and this is just the start. We can later on get the savanna, we can get the deep forest at the back here. Of course, there is the entire ocean that we can also explore later on, and the caves as well. There is quite a big map. Now, while we are running around here, we may be able to, well, first of all, we can see some insects like the wasp over there, but we may also be able to see things that we can harvest, things like canola and there we go, I think that is Brussels sprouts. Yeah, oh, that's wasabi. There we go. Oh, wasabi is really cool. Now, usually when you buy wasabi in the shops, you're not actually buying wasabi. Instead, you are buying horseradish, which is also quite spicy. But usually when you are eating sushi and you're eating wasabi with it, you're not actually eating wasabi. Wasabi, true wasabi, is difficult to cultivate. It can only be grown really along flowing water, and they have other very specific requirements as well. So it's difficult to cultivate, and as a result it is quite expensive, and usually what people use instead of true wasabi would actually be horseradish, because it is also quite spicy and it grows much more easily. We, for example, have horseradish in our garden and it grows so easily. We've got 2 massive plants, and every time we pull some out and some of the roots get left behind, yeah, those roots there will just regrow. Now, unfortunately, our inventory here is actually full. It doesn't take long for us to reach a full inventory. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to just eat these 2 candied tree seeds, and then we're just going to harvest this little mangosteen over here. Now, at the start here, the quality of things that we are harvesting on the ground or foraging from the ground, really not great quality. Later on, we'll get much better quality stuff that we will forage. You can also rummage through people's dustbins, and we got a brown trout there. Now, of course, we are again out of space. So what will we get rid of? That is the question. I don't think we can really get rid of anything. We'll just have to come back for this brown trout there. There's a daffodil we can also harvest. Yeah, the first bit is quite challenging because you have barely any space in your inventory. We got a little beetle from that digging there. Basically, whenever you see these little 4-leaf clovers, you can dig with a hoe and maybe get some loot there, maybe get some insects. Yeah, who knows? Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to actually... Oh, we can't really create a chest now. Oh, we can. What we can do is we can just put something in there, store it in there temporarily, but don't forget it overnight because it will be sold. And let's just create one little makeshift chest. And we're going to place that down right over here, kind of out of the way, and we're going to put everything in there. And now we can go and forage for that daffodil we saw, and we can go grab that brown trout that we found among someone's rubbish, because, you know, why not? And we are going to donate that to the museum when the time comes, when the museum is actually open. I don't think we can donate to the museum yet. That will come a little bit later. Another 4-leaf clover. Let's just dig here. We got another little beetle there, but we can't catch it yet. We don't have the net yet. We'll only get that in a few days' time. Again, rummaging and finding morels there. Now, morels are really awesome fungi. I have never eaten a morel, but apparently they are really, really delicious. If you ever find morels, like true morels like we have over here, then well, that would be good eating. But please, if you ever find morels, do make sure that you actually are looking at morels and not something else, because you do not want to end up eating the wrong fungus. Now, with morels, there is a particularly dangerous fungus that looks like a morel, but it isn't. It is in fact toxic, and that is one of the false morels, and that is Gyromitra esculenta. Now, that name is actually horrible because esculenta means edible. And yeah, it is not edible. In fact, it may be very, very toxic. And every year, some people do get poisoned by them. And one of the things is that it seems that it may be linked to some clusters of people with ALS. You know, the motor neuron disease that Stephen Hawking had. And amongst other things, eating the false morel, the Gyromitra esculenta, may cause people to go into a coma and may eventually lead to death. So really not great. And they look very, very similar to the morels. So never eat a fungus you do not know 100%. So as mushroom foragers always say, you can get old mushroom foragers and you can get adventurous mushroom foragers, but you will not find an old adventurous mushroom forager. Now, my wife and I, we do love foraging for certain mushrooms, the ones that we know very, very well. But we also wouldn't just go and harvest fungi that we are not 100% sure about. Now that brings the first day to a close, so I think we're going to just head on into our home here, our really, really horrible condition home, and we're just going to go to bed. Of course, we didn't put anything in the shipping bin, so we didn't get any money whatsoever today, but you know what, that is fine. Tomorrow is a new day. Now, we've just received word that we do have a new bag available, which will increase the amount of things we can carry around, but it's going to cost us 500 coin, and we just have 340 at the moment, so nowhere near enough. Now, for the next few days, the procedure will be as follows. First, water all the plants, which takes a lot of time, especially if you have a lot of crops, and until we have sprinklers, this is the morning routine. We water the crops, and then we're just going to hit some rocks here with our pickaxe, get some stone that way, and of course collect some logs that are lying on the ground, because we do want to repair our home as quickly as possible. And of course, if we have energy left, we can also just clear some of the trash away, because we do not want trash lying around on our beautiful little farm that we have starting. Now what we can also do is we can actually just sell some of these things that we have collected, some of these scavengables that we have collected, and you know what, that is exactly what we are going to do. We're just going to head on over to Sam's General Store. It should be open shortly. Here we go, we're just going to sell some of these things that we have collected, and we're going to purchase the bag upgrade. Wonderful. Now we have 500 coins left, which we can use to perhaps buy some extra seed here. You know what? We want to buy potatoes. If we can buy potatoes, they grow in 5 days. That's a very, very quick turnover here. Now, of course, in real life, potatoes don't grow in 5 days. They will take much longer than that, but they are quite quick. The peonies here are even quicker. After 4 days, we can actually harvest them as well, same as the daisies and the turnips. So these are very fast growing. Potatoes, relatively fast growing. Carrots also moderately. And then you have 10 days for cauliflower. That's going to be the slowest growing plant. Now we're going to go for fast growing plants here. We want, you know what, let's go for 20 potato seeds. Oh, this is going to be a mission to water. And of course, to set up these plots will also take forever. Now yes, I did say that I was going to try and interplant the species, not just have a monoculture. Unfortunately, yeah, we now have to kind of have all the potatoes planted together here. But you know what, this is still fine. It's still not one continuous field of just potatoes. Instead, we've got potatoes and some daisies and some turnips all kind of together in the same field. Now the idea being that the daisies will flower and perhaps also attract things like hoverflies, which are generally considered great to have in your garden because they are carnivorous, or at least the larvae are carnivorous, and they may take out some of your plant pests like aphids and so it's generally considered a good idea to attract them to your garden. And we again are just harvesting everything we can here. Some shiitake mushroom as well. Oh, that's a silver quality. That's a good quality one. At least for this early in the game, that is extremely good. There was a little leaf beetle. We're not going to worry too much about them now. We can't catch these little bugs yet, nor can we fish yet. Only after a few days will we be able to actually go and fish and, you know, catch bugs. So then we'll start chatting about them. There's a little caterpillar walking around over there as well. I do believe we've got enough wood and stone to actually repair our house. So let's do that, shall we? Let's go visit the carpenter. They are just to the north there. Here's our farm. There's the carpenter. But here we go. We can repair our house. Now, what style do we want to go for? That, I don't know, that's too urban. I love the little Zen garden with the stones and the sand there, but we want something a little bit more planty, a little bit better like this. I love the moss growing on these tiles here. I don't like this, no. This, however, yeah, I do like this. No, not this, not this. Yeah, so we're definitely going to go for this look here. It's got tropical island vibes after all. There's a palm tree right next to it. There are some plants on the deck here. Yeah, this is nice. I think we're going to go for that. And there we go. It is bigger and better now. Isn't that just marvelous? Great stuff. Now let's again sell some stuff here. Now we can just drop it here in the shipping bin, and when we sleep, those things will be sold automatically. Now we are almost out of energy, so it may actually be a good idea just to go to sleep. The first few days, you just tend to settle in and not do much. But there we go. Our foraging has leveled up, which means we can now actually create candied tree seeds, which is great. And we got 200 coins for the day. Ah, wonderful. It is a rainy day. So when it rains, we don't need to water our crops. Something, however, ate our crop over there. Something ate it. I think a crow came to come and pick whatever was over there. So what are we getting there? That's a lettuce seed. Okay. So we got a wild seed though in its place. Sometimes we can get wild seeds when we harvest the grasses and stuff like that. We did get one from the plant that was eaten by the crow there. And we just automatically planted it again. So now we've got a little lettuce plant growing between our turnips and daisies and so. Later on we are going to be able to craft scarecrows to keep the birds away. But for now we just have to accept it as normal state of affairs. Now we have gotten a message that we need to go down to the beach shack. We're going to get our fishing rod and our bug net now, which is going to really open up a whole bunch of possibilities for us. And here we go, we're on the beach, so that means there we go, there's the beach shack right over there. And there we go, we have our bug net, and more importantly, we have our fishing rod. Now let's actually use the bug net here to catch our first bug, the fly. because of course we are going to start with a fly. Now fishing is actually quite fun. I do love fishing in this game. You basically just cast your line out, and yes, you can put bait on there as well to catch smaller fish or bigger fish, or to attract smaller fish or bigger fish or big fish, and then you just kind of wait for them to stop struggling, and then you kind of reel them in. You don't want the line to go too tight there, because otherwise it breaks and you lose your fishy. Oh, this one is putting up quite a fight. We can of course upgrade our fishing rods later on to actually be stronger, and that will allow us to actually catch much stronger and much bigger fish. Fish that are also worth much more. So we can either donate these fish, or at least the first one of each species we can donate to the museum, but the rest we will be able to sell. And it can be, depending on the species, oh, that's a nice one, we got a barracuda. Depending on the species you catch, they can actually be worth quite a lot of money. And if you target the right species with the right rod, yeah, you're going to make a lot of money. But for now, it's not going to be that easy. We are going to catch the weaker fishies here, and they're also not worth as much money. So there we go, we got a blue tang. So we caught Dory. That is very, very nice. Now all these little fishies we will be able to put in the museum as well, in the aquarium section of the museum. And it really is a lot of fun to just watch them swimming around in there. And we will talk about all these little fishies as we catch more. Occasionally, of course, we also do catch trash, which is not as nice. You can reduce the likelihood of catching trash by actually putting on a small fish bait, but we can't make those yet. So I don't think we can buy it. We'll just check here at the beach shack. That's usually where you can buy fish bait. And another blue tang. So we'll keep one to donate, and we will sell one. Let's say we are selling them to reputable aquaria around the world, where they can have captive breeding programs and release them. Now this little fishy is putting up quite a fight. I don't actually know what it is. What on earth is this little guy over here? We'll see in a moment. As long as I don't snap the line. Oh, it is a lionfish. Oh, that is cool. Okay, it is both cool and horrible. Depending on where we are, seeing lionfish is actually either good or really, really horrible. If you see lionfish in North America, that's a big problem, because they are exotic to North America. They come from the Indian Ocean, so they are not naturally found in North America. However, they have been released into the wild, and they are taking over a lot of areas. In fact, they have spread all the way down to Brazil, which is really, really horrible. We're just going to eat this little shiitake over here, so we have got space for the lionfish here. And you know what, I think we're going to then just make our way home a bit. Now just getting back to the blue tang we've got over here, which is of course the fish that Dory was based on in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. Now they are very, very popular in the aquarium trade. I believe they are 8th most popular marine fish in aquaria. And some people did say that the reason for this, for their increased popularity, is because of Finding Nemo and Finding Dory actually coming out. And people then actually searching much more for those fish on the internet, and of course trying to have them in their aquaria as well. Now, whether that is true or not, is actually debated, because initially it was said that there were increased searches for clownfish on the internet, and as a result the popularity of clownfish in aquaria surged. Others said no, well, when Finding Dory was released, the same thing happened with blue tangs. More people searched for them and more people wanted to actually have them. But it seems like it wasn't necessarily the case. Yes, there was an increase in searches for blue tangs on the internet, but that did not translate to more of them being bought. But the thing with blue tangs, though, is that they are very difficult to breed in captivity. So that is a potential problem. If there is a massive increase in their popularity in aquaria, that could result in overexploitation of their wild populations, because they are so difficult to breed in captivity. The majority of blue tangs that you will see in aquaria or in people's collections are wild caught. Very often juveniles that are caught, because they tend to travel in shoals, as we tried to catch that butterfly but failed. But the blue tang juveniles tend to travel in shoals, which means that they are easier to catch and to catch a lot of. We're just going to quickly see if we can perhaps catch a weird little fishy that we can find in these rice ponds over here, in these rice paddies. Okay, a little bit too far. Let's see, like that. There we go. Let's see if we can catch a little fishy. Yes, we've got something. Not 100% sure what it is. It is a zebrafish. Wonderful. Now, zebrafish are really cool. They are very often used in medical research for a variety of reasons. One thing is, it is extremely easy to breed them. They are what we call asynchronous spawners, meaning whenever there is actually food available, they can reproduce. But in fact, the females will only reproduce and only have eggs developing in them if there is at least one male present. So they will wait until there is a male present, and then suddenly they will develop eggs and they will start spawning. And they will spawn up to basically every second or third day. They can produce 100 eggs or so. So they're able to increase in number really, really quickly. They're also very, very popular aquarium fish. But we will talk about all these little fishies and so in another episode. For now, though, I think with all the crops being watered here and the day drawing to a close, I think this is where we are going to end today's episode. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on our adventure here in Coral Island. We're just starting out, but my oh my, we're going to have a fun time in this game. So, of course, if you have any comments or questions, please pop them down in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more content like this, please do give the channel a nice little subscribe, give the video a like, let the algorithm know that you like this type of content. And then I will see you guys again soon. On Friday, I'll be back in Enshrouded, and then next Tuesday, back in Coral Island. And until next time, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Cheers!